And now, ladies and gentlemen, from the heart of the Inland Empire, right here in sunny Southern California, it's Robert Cardoza Live, where we talk about politics, money, and you. This is the intersection of business and politics. And now here's your host, Robert Cardoza.
And welcome aboard. I am Robert Cardoza. You're listening to Robert Cardoza Live on the street at the intersection of business and politics. You know what? I'm sorry for the late start. Had a little bit of a technical problem. The truth is a little bit of a human being problem. That was me. I hit some wrong button. I'm not sure what it was. But anyway, we got it fixed right now. I want you to know, though, at 3:03 p.m. Pacific time, a little bit late, it's currently 57 degrees here in the heart of the Inland Empire in sunny Southern California. It's on its way down to 46 degrees. And then on today's show, we're going to talk about what's in the news, new legislation, the IRS loses, and then, of course, we'll continue our segment, the rest of the story with the late, great Paul Harvey. Today's story, the pad. You're going to want to hear about it. It's a good one. And then today we'll have our own Jon Matthews. Jon Matthews and Joe Hakos will be here as we do our semi-weekly simulcast on conservative politics. And then right after that, we'll have John Hansen, that little old wine drinker. He'll be here. Boy, we got a lot to catch up on, including a private night at Disneyland. You're not going to want to miss that either. And we'll be also talking about a lot of food and wine and all the rest of that stuff. But right now, I want to talk to you about news. And here's a little bit of fact check for you. Despite the woes, Obamacare not in a death spiral. Not just yet anyway. President-elect Donald Trump says that President Barack Obama's health care law will fall of its own weight. Now, House Speaker Paul Ryan says that the law is in what the actuaries call a death spiral. And Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell says that by nearly any measure, Obamacare has failed. The problem with all these claims? They are exaggerated, if not downright false. As congressional Republicans prepare to repeal the health law, they are working to portray it as a mess of Democrats making and themselves as the ones who will clean up that mess. In the process, they're exaggerating the law's very real problems, according to healthcare experts who largely believe that the Affordable Care Act's troubles with high prices and lack of competition could be addressed with bipartisan solutions. Republicans who've gained political advantage from campaigning against the law since its passage in 2010 aren't interested in playing along. Instead, they've announced the law and made the case to repeal it. Although there are signs that some are getting cold feet now that reality is upon them. Well, excuse me, Democrats too are guilty of theoretical excuses around the health care law, often claiming that it's working as intended while downplaying its flaws. Well, you know what? It's got plenty of flaws. The problem is it doesn't have to be done away with. It has to be fixed. You know what? Can't we do that on a bipartisan basis? It sure seems like we should be able to. Who are they representing? Themselves? They want the credit themselves? Somebody once said, if you don't care who gets the credit, you can get anything done in Congress. Well, that's what's going on now. The problem is the Republicans want credit, the Democrats want credit, and all we want is insurance. Well, Trump's son-in-law, Kushner, is to take the senior White House role. President-elect Donald Trump's influential son-in-law, Jared Kushner, will join him in the White House as a senior advisor, transition officials said just today, putting the young real estate executive in a position to exert broad sway over both domestic and foreign policy, particularly Middle East issues and trade negotiations. Trump has come to rely heavily on Kushner, who is married to the president-elect's daughter, Ivanka. Since the election, Kushner has been one of the transition team's main liaisons to foreign governments, communicating with Israeli officials and meeting last week with Britain's foreign minister. He's also huddled with congressional leaders and helped interview cabinet candidates. His eligibility could be challenged, but Kushner lawyer Jamie Gorelick argued today that a 1967 law meant to bar government officials from hiring relatives does not apply to the West Wing. She cited a later congressional measure to allow the president unfettered and sweeping authority in hiring staff. Kushner, who will not be taking a salary, will resign as CEO of his family's real estate company and as publisher of the New York Observer, as well as divest substantial assets, Gorelick said. She said Kushner will recuse himself from particular matters that would have a direct and predictable effect on his remaining financial interests. Ivanka Trump, who also played a significant role advising her father and during the presidential campaign, will not be taking a formal White House position. Transition officials said she is the mother of 3 young children, and her immediate plans are focusing on her family's move from New York to Washington, though officials said that her role could change in the future. Officials also said that Ivanka Trump would be leaving her executive roles at the Trump Organization, her father's real estate company, and her own fashion brands. Well, we can see where they're headed, and it appears to be in the right direction. Don't you? Yeah, I think so. You know what? I'm going to take a short break just a little bit early so that I can finish this next segment that I want to do. We're going to report to you on the airport shooting suspect, and he gets public defender in court instead of defending himself. I'll tell you all about that after these brief messages, so don't go away. We've got a lot of fantastic show for you. You don't want to miss it.
If you want to increase your client base and sales, then consider this, the Relationship Building Network at RBN. Given the current economic conditions and challenges, we all need to work smarter, make smarter decisions, invest our hard-earned dollars where it'll yield the best return for our investment. Many business professionals claim that the most effective networking group in Orange County is RBN. No other networking group or organization can offer what RBN offers. Make every year your best year. Join RBN and start reaping the benefits today. You know, nearly 3,000 businesses have joined RBN and experienced those benefits. Why join RBN? It's one group. It's one membership. It's no renewals. It's all through Orange County. RBN is a freestyle networking group. No mandatory attendance, no restrictions, no rules, and no penalties. Call them at 949-830-5776 or go to their website at rbninfo.com. That's 949-830-5776. If you've ever dreamed of having your own business to make your life secure, you know Water's Edge Wineries might be just the ticket. In 2004, their founder, Ken Lineberger, created the first winery franchise in California. It was a new concept with all of the functionality of a traditional winery, but without the vineyards. They purchased high-quality grape must from one of the largest winemaking companies in the world. Then they craft each wine carefully and bottle it right at their location. The winery was built to satisfy consumer demand for wine by the bottle and by the glass, but still kept the element of allowing customers to bottle their own custom vintage. Now, they're opening urban wineries across the United States under the brand Water's Edge Wineries. If you've ever dreamed of owning your own winery, it may be in reach right now through Water's Edge Wineries. Just give them a call at 909-468-9463, extension 700. That's Water's Edge Wineries, 909-468-9463. Have you ever found yourself caught between a rock and a hard place? The law offices of Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett might be just the answer for you. The attorneys of Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett have been serving the Inland Empire since 1989. They're dedicated to the aggressive litigation of civil, criminal, and real estate matters. Over the years, they have recovered tens of millions of dollars for their clients. The firm's practice specializes in litigation of personal injury, accident, slip and fall, real estate, and criminal law cases. The firm provides clients with the care, accuracy, and dedication of experienced attorneys. Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett is located at 10300 4th Street, Suite 150 in Rancho Cucamonga, California. They've been providing the Inland Empire residents with outstanding legal services for over 25 years. They look forward to providing you with aggressive legal representation. Call them at 909-945-5000, where you can talk to a person, not a machine. That's 909-945-5000, the law offices of Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett. And now let's get back to our show where we talk about politics, money, and you.
And I am Robert Cardoza. You're listening to Robert Cardoza live on the street at the intersection of business and politics. And we're talking news. Well, you know, the airport shooting suspect gets a public defender in court. The Iraq war veteran held in the fatal shooting of 5 people inside Fort Lauderdale's airport was appointed a federal public defender today after telling a judge that he has no job and only $5 or $10 in the bank. Esteban Santiago, 26 years old, spoke clearly during a brief hearing before U.S. Magistrate Judge Alicia Valle, who ordered him held until his next hearings. Shackled in a red jumpsuit in the heavily guarded federal courtroom, Santiago answered mostly yes or no to questions and told the judge that he understands the charges, which include committing violence against people at an international airport resulting in death and 2 firearms offenses. She told him the death penalty could apply. We are telling you the maximum penalty allowed by law so that you understand the seriousness of these charges, the judge said. He said he had been in the Army where he made about $15,000 a year. He mentioned expenses including $560 in monthly rent, plus phone and other utility bills. He said he owns no property and doesn't have a vehicle. He said that he had worked for a security company, Signal 88 in Anchorage, Alaska, until November, making $2,100 a month, but currently only had $5 to $10 in the bank. Given his finances, the judge decided that he's eligible for government lawyers at taxpayer expense. Valley said a detention hearing for January 17th, followed by an arraignment for entering a plea for January the 23rd. More than a dozen officers kept watch outside the courthouse, carrying rifles and wearing bulletproof vests. There were also mounted police and canine units. No, I would certainly think so. This guy's in a lot of trouble, I would say. Yeah. Well, the manhunt's underway for a suspect in a killing of the Orlando officer. An Orlando police sergeant was shot and killed today after approaching a suspect wanted for questioning in the murder of his pregnant ex-girlfriend. And a second law enforcement officer was killed in a motorcycle crash while responding to a massive manhunt for the suspect. More than a dozen schools were placed in lockdown during the manhunt, and authorities were offering a $60,000 reward for information leading to the arrest of Markeith Lloyd, the 41-year-old suspect wanted for the murder of Master Sergeant Deborah Clayton. Officers and deputies focused their manhunt on an apartment complex in northwest Orlando, and dozens of residences had been searched. Residents who were evacuated from their homes Saturday on a sidewalk along a street with heavily armed officers and deputies in a parked SWAT team truck. Clinton, 42, was killed outside a Walmart store in northwest Orlando early on Monday. In Orange County Sheriff's Office, Deputy First Class Norman Lewis was killed in a crash while responding to a manhunt for Lloyd. Wow. You know what? And the horrific stuff just keeps right on coming, right? Yeah, it just seems that way. Well, rescuers take advantage of a break in storms in California. Emergency crews in rescue boats and helicopters rushed to take advantage of a one-day break between storms today to rescue stranded people and access damage after the heaviest rain in a decade overwhelmed parts of California and Nevada. A weekend storm dumped more than a foot of water on parts of Northern California, forcing hundreds of people to evacuate and leaving thousands without power. The system raised rivers out of their banks and toppled trees. Among them, the fabled giant sequoia dubbed Pioneer Cabin that had a tunnel carved into its base more than a century ago. Another strong storm was bearing down on the region for Tuesday. That's tomorrow. Such gaps between storms are what saves us from the big water, the fire chief Max Ming said in the Russian river town of Forestville, where rescuers launched rafts and used a helicopter to search for people cut off by rising water. People hunker down and wait for it to get past. Yeah, I would think so. You know, these back-to-back storms that have hit California and Nevada since last week are part of an atmospheric river weather system that draws participation from the Pacific Ocean as far west as Hawaii. That kind of system, also known as the Pineapple Express, poses catastrophic risks for areas hit by the heaviest rain. It's been about 10 years since we've experienced this kind of rainfall, said Steve Anderson, a National Weather Service forecaster. We're getting a little bit of a break today, but we have another storm system arriving tomorrow that's not quite as potent, but could still cause some problems. Yeah, you know, Why not? Why not? We're seeing everything else going on, right? Well, here's one for you. After Rafsanjani, Iran is at a political crossroads. United Arab Emirates former President Akbar Hashemi Rafsanjani will be buried in the shrine of the Ayatollah who led Iran's 1979 Islamic Revolution. The same man who once proclaimed the revolution is alive as long as Rafsanjani is alive. The direction of that revolution and Iran's cleric-ruled political system looks less clear following Rafsanjani's death just yesterday at age 82. He long served as a balance in the extremes of Iranian political thought, a go-between for reformers who seek outreach to the world and hardliners who press for confrontation with the West. Without his behind-the-scenes influence advocating pragmatism, some fear that one side may feel free to try to overcome the other. In particular, that hardliners could take off the gloves against moderates who have made gains in recent years. Wow. Can you imagine? You know what? You don't know if you want to celebrate or you want to mourn this guy, for Pete's sake. I'm not sure what the heck happens. Let me leave you with this one. A white policeman is suspended but not fired after a video incident. A white Texas policeman was suspended without pay for 10 days but will not be fired after an incident in which he was caught on video wrestling a black woman and her daughter to the ground. Fort Worth Police Chief Joel Fitzgerald announced Monday. Fitzgerald said the officer, identified by department officials as William Martin, violated policy, is sorry for his behavior and is eager to resume active duty at the end of the suspension. He said that he has asked Martin, who will also be required to undergo additional training, to go back into the same community when the suspension ends to repair relationships. With that, we got to take a short break. When we come back, we're going to talk about something a little more pleasant. We're going to talk about the IRS Loses. And the first case up here today is an ex-wife's theft of the husband's money saves him from her tax bill. I'll tell you all about it right after these brief messages. Don't go away.
Isn't it time to shine the spotlight on your expertise? The Interview, starring you. Here's your chance to capture 5 minutes of fame with The Interview. This isn't just any interview. This is your opportunity to showcase your expertise and position yourself as a trusted expert in a one-on-one video interview hosted by Robert Cardoza, host of the nationally syndicated show Robert Cardoza Live and powered by AHA Studios. What is it? A professionally recorded video for your use. Robert Cardoza interviews you on the set where he records his show. Professional interview showcases your expertise and value, shot in a state-of-the-art studio. And what's in it for you? Gain credibility as an expert, earn the trust of your target market, educate in a way that intrigues your audience, gain a powerful marketing tool that offers dozens of uses, website, video sharing sites, social media, email, DVDs, direct mail, lobby video, resumes, profile building, all that kind of stuff. Association with the nationally syndicated celebrity. That's right. And let's talk about AHA Studios. AHA is a strategic marketing firm that leverages the powerful and visual persuasion to help your business create powerful messages that connect with your target market. AHA ventures way beyond strategy, delivering the marketing collateral you need to start driving a new business through your doors. AHA has a full-service, in-house, state-of-the-art production studio to bring your messages to life using video. Discover how to make The Interview work for you. Call 949-831-2222. That's 949-831-2222. AHA Image Studios, Incorporated. Dr. Stephen Tidwell, Gentle Family Dentistry in a caring, personalized environment. Here at Dr. Tidwell's office, we are dedicated to helping you keep your teeth healthy. We are a state-of-the-art dental practice that still believes in traditional values, such as excellent customer service and individual attention. We have a special welcoming offer for you for just $39, a complete exam, personal consultation, professional cleaning, and all necessary x-rays. That's a $266 value for $39. Dr. Tidwell has 2 convenient locations and experienced staff to provide you with professional care and personal attention that you deserve. Call today. Don't delay. A great smile another day. Call 909-944-7308. That's 909-944-7308 for Rancho Cucamonga or San Bernardino. Joel Saltzman is Dr. Wireless. He has turned his considerable expertise into consumer credit risk and wireless security into a highly specialized independent web-based consulting enterprise targeting consumer credit risk analysis and wireless transactional security and monitoring. He works as a wireless analyst, veteran independent agent, and consumer liaison for most wireless telecom carriers and equipment manufacturers. For more than 20 years, corporate and private clients and media audiences have counted on his unvarnished advice while weighing the technology, performance, and cost differences between Sprint, Nextel, AT&T, Verizon, and T-Mobile. Joel specializes in setting up mobile wireless hotspots to be used for disaster preparedness, business continuity, and mobile wireless merchant processing solutions. Call Dr. Wireless at 310-400-4900 or go to his webpage at drwireless.com. Again, call 310-400-4900 or his webpage at drwireless.com. You'll be glad you did. And now, back to our show.
The story you are about to see is true. The names have been changed to protect the innocent.
And I am Robert Cardoza. You're listening to Robert Cardoza live on the street at the intersection of business and politics. We're at 3:24 p.m. Pacific time. It is currently 58 degrees here in the heart of the Inland Empire in sunny Southern California. That's on its way down to 47 degrees. But you know what? If you're listening to us on our globally syndicated network and you happen to be in New York City, well, it's 24 degrees and it's partly cloudy. And if you're in Chicago, Illinois, it's 28 degrees and it's snowing right now. So, give that some thought as you think about the weather around. We'll give you some other places in our broadcasting world as we go along with the show. But right now, I want to talk to you about something that is one of my favorites. That is the IRS Loses. And our first case up today is an ex-wife's theft of her husband's money saves him from her tax bill. Here's the case. Robbie Gilbert owned and ran a business while his wife managed all of their personal accounts. When the couple fell behind on their taxes, Gilbert entered into an installment agreement with the IRS. They subsequently divorced, at which point he discovered that his wife had stolen the money that he had saved to pay the tax bill and fled. The IRS subsequently tried to hold him liable for his wife's taxes on their joint returns. He went to court, and this is what the judge had to say. Under the installment agreement, Gilbert had paid more tax than he owed as his share under the divorce decree. He had cooperated with the IRS, tried to pay the tax, and would have, but for his ex-wife's wrongdoing. So equity requires that he be relieved of liability for her taxes. Doesn't that just kind of make you feel good? Not so much about the IRS, but the fact that you can get justice. How about this? The IRS loses. A defense lawyer's mistakes set aside a verdict. Rodolfo Pascual had lived as a legal immigrant here in the United States since 1970. Now, after the IRS examined his taxes, he pleaded guilty to filing 2 false returns, for which he received probation. After being told by his lawyer that it would not affect his immigration status, but the government then moved to deport him due to his plea. His new immigration lawyer then had him take a psychiatric exam that found that he suffered from a severe mental illness that impaired his ability to help in his own defense. He went to court. This is what the judge said. Pascual's tax lawyer had both falsely advised him and misrepresented to the court his mental competence to enter a plea. The tax verdict is set aside for a new trial. That's the way it ought to be. You know what? And the thing is, when you're promised these kind of things, somebody needs to have their feet held to the fire, don't you think? How about this? The IRS concedes. Now, you've heard me say it many times. They only concede when they're pretty doggone sure that they can't prevail in court. That's where we're at here with this particular case. It's restitution for tax evasion cannot be collected by the IRS under the tax code. Now, an individual pleaded guilty to criminal tax evasion and was ordered to pay restitution as part of his sentence. And the IRS personnel asked if they could collect unpaid restitution through tax assessment. IRS legal opinion? Restitution is a criminal case and not a tax payment, but a sanction that includes the cost of such governmental expenses as incarceration and probation, supervision. So restitution cannot be collected by the IRS through the tax system, even if it is for a tax evasion and the IRS applies it to a tax account. The response to non-payment must come through the criminal legal process, and that's just the way it's got to happen. Now, you've heard me talk about being a fly on the wall when the IRS is doing things. That's where we're at right now with this segment that we call Inside the IRS, very much like the Twilight Zone. Well, these are not tax court cases, but this is information that if you know about it, information is one of the most valuable things that you can have. So if you know about it, you can use this to your own advantage from time to time. In this particular first case here, it's a volunteer preparer foul-ups. According to the recently released report by the Treasury Inspector General, more than half of the tax returns prepared by the federal government's volunteer income tax assistance program, they call it VITA actually, during the last year, not this year, but the last year's filing season, they were inaccurate. The Inspector General based the report on the results of the test sample of 36 tax returns. 22 of the 36 were found to contain errors. In recent years, the IRS has been criticized for delegating too much of its own responsibility for taxpayer service to volunteers who lack the experience to gather the proper information and apply the appropriate tax law. So here's a lesson for you. You get what you pay for. You've heard that before, haven't you? Certainly you have. Well, how about this? There's a post-9/11 tax-free working condition fringe benefit, and it's recognized by the IRS. Now, special security precautions provided by companies to their senior executives may not be fully subject to income tax. For example, employer-provided vehicles fitted with bulletproof glass, or chauffeurs trained in invasive driving techniques, armed bodyguards, and the use of private aircraft for personal trips may all be considered working condition fringe benefits as defined by the tax code and regulations. Now, special rules define what portion of the benefit is subject to tax and what portion is going to be tax-free. But there's an important rule. The employer must establish an overall security program, which generally means that the employee is protected 24 hours a day. Yeah, absolutely. Now, we're going to have to take a break. Before we do that, I want to remind you later on the show, we're going to have our tribute to the late, great Paul Harvey. The rest of the story, our story today is The Pad, and you're not going to want to miss this. It's an intriguing story, and we're going to kind of shock you at the end of it, and that's really the purpose of this. In the meantime, we're going to take a short break. When we come back, we'll be with our own Jon Matthews and Joe Hakos for our semi-weekly simulcast right here. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
If you want to increase your client base and sales, then consider this, the Relationship Building Network at RBN. Given the current economic conditions and challenges, we all need to work smarter, make smarter decisions, invest our hard-earned dollars where it'll yield the best return for our investment. Many business professionals claim that the most effective networking group in Orange County is RBN. No other networking group or organization can offer what RBN offers. Make every year your best year. Join RBN and start reaping the benefits today. Nearly 3,000 businesses have joined RBN and experienced those benefits. Why join RBN? It's one group. It's one membership. It's no renewals. It's all through Orange County. RBN is a freestyle networking group. No mandatory attendance, no restrictions, no rules, and no penalties. Call them at 949-830-5776 or go to their website at rbninfo.com. That's 949-830-5776. If you've ever dreamed of having your own business to make your life secure, Water's Edge Wineries might be just the ticket. In 2004, their founder, Ken Lineberger, created the first winery franchise in California. It was a new concept with all of the functionality of a traditional winery, but without the vineyards. They purchase high-quality grape must from one of the largest winemaking companies in the world. Then they craft each wine carefully and bottle it right at their location. The winery was built to satisfy consumer demand for wine by the bottle and by the glass, but still kept the element of allowing customers to bottle their own custom vintage. Now, they're opening urban wineries across the United States under the brand Water's Edge Wineries. If you've ever dreamed of owning your own winery, it may be in reach right now through Water's Edge Wineries. Just give them a call at 909-468 909-9463, extension 700. That's Water's Edge Wineries, 909-468-9463. Have you ever found yourself caught between a rock and a hard place? The law offices of Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett might be just the answer for you. The attorneys of Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett have been serving the Inland Empire since 1989. They're dedicated to the aggressive litigation of civil, criminal, and real estate matters. Over the years, they have recovered tens of millions of dollars for their clients. The firm's practice specializes in litigation of personal injury, accident, slip and fall, real estate, and criminal law cases. The firm provides clients with the care, accuracy, and dedication of experienced attorneys. Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett is located at 10300 4th Street, Suite 150 in Rancho Cucamonga, California. They've been providing the Inland Empire residents with outstanding legal services for over 25 years. They look forward to providing you with aggressive legal representation. Call them at 909-945-5000, where you can talk to a person, not a machine. That's 909-945-5000, the law offices of Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett. And now let's get back to our show where we talk about politics, money, and you. And now, ladies and gentlemen, coming to you from the basement of his strategic planning room located at his political hideaway in Los Angeles County, the dedicated man who stands and serves the political conscience of our nation, Mr. Jon Matthews.
And I am Robert Cardoza. You're listening to Robert Cardoza live on the street at the intersection of business and politics. We're at 3:34 p.m. Pacific time. Currently still 58 degrees here in the heart of the Inland Empire in sunny Southern California, on its way down to 47 degrees. And if you're listening to us on our globally syndicated network, well, you know what? In Paris, France, it's 45 degrees and it's overcast. In Rome, Italy, it's 36 degrees and it's clear. And you know what? If you're in any of those places, God bless you. You're one lucky person. Well, in about 45 seconds, we'll be with Jon Matthews and Joe Hakos doing our simulcast. We do it twice a week, every Monday and Friday here. We talk about conservative politics. We try to be fair and above board. Sometimes it gets a little heated, but you know, who knows what's going to happen? It's a new year. We'll see what actually transpires. They should be calling in any minute now. I want to remind you that we'll be doing our tribute to the late great Paul Harvey later on, and then of course in our next segment that we have, it'll be John Hansen, that little old wine drinker. He'll be calling. We'll be talking about food and wine and a private Disney experience that we had. We're looking forward to all of those things. So, you know what? It ought to be terrific. Anyway, I'm just sitting here thinking about the storm we just had. Boy, it was really coming down. And then, of course, today we have a little respite from it. And then tomorrow, you get another one that hits us. It's going to be raining on and off all week here. I can't hardly wait for that to come to an end. And I can't hardly wait for John to be calling into the show here. He should be doing that just about any minute. And there he is now. Hey, John, how you doing?
Couple of them at the right time, right? Fun. Is that you?
Are you guys there?
Yeah, we're here.
Hey, Happy New Year, Merry Christmas, all those things. You know what? I'm excited about talking to you actually twice within 4 days.
Yeah, it's almost a record. We've been.
It just seemed like it was a month since we had actually talked to each other.
Well, yeah, and I have to take the rap for that. We've just had we've located a problem and don't have time to go into it right now. But I think I've at least been able to kind of bypass the problem and make things work the way it's supposed to for the time being. But anyway, yeah. So how's it going in your neck of the woods?
You know what? Everything is going terrific. Actually, you know, it's interesting. You're talking about having kind of a small problem. That's sort of the nature of when you're doing these broadcasts. I don't know what happened to me. I was all set and ready to go, and I hit the wrong button. It turned everything off. I had to reestablish everything, so I lost the first minute of my my broadcast today. But I'll make up for it at the end. In any event, let's talk about what people want to hear about. Let's talk about conservative politics.
Yeah, we were just kind of brushing up on the Golden Globes last night. Meryl Streep deciding to take her lifetime achievement moment and basically go after Donald Trump for making fun of an epileptic back in 2015. And but it feeds into a bigger narrative. And the bigger narrative that I'm hearing out there all across the cyber world on the liberal front is that there is going to be a quote unquote hashtag resist Trump movement. And they're going to try to, the Congressional Black Caucus has come out and said, we're going to do everything we can to resist Donald Trump. We've got the elites in Hollywood. Just before we came on the air today, I found an actual website called resisthere.org, and they have actual talking points against all of Donald Trump's confirmations. Now, how the talking points, because that's how liberals work. You disseminate talking points. Don't let anybody figure out anything for themselves. We'll give you a list and we'll tell you what you're supposed to say and how you're supposed to say it. And so there's this strategy out there. Chuck Schumer's out there telling us that they're going to do everything they can to resist Donald Trump, the repeal of Obamacare. Nancy Pelosi's out there pretending like she's still relevant. John McCain and what's the other guy named? Lindsey Graham are out there on the weekend talk circuit, all talking like they're still relevant. None of these people have figured out that Donald Trump won because everybody else thinks knows they're irrelevant. But the point being is that there's this, I think, this hidden strategy going on with this confirmation hearing process. Right now, the narrative is, of course, they want to slow everything down. Donald Trump's confirmations or his nominations have not been vetted properly. That's the narrative that's being floated out there right now. But I think it's leading to a bigger narrative down the line here. But I wanted to get your take on that. What do you think about this process that they're now claiming that apparently Obama got away with, but Donald Trump can't, that we need to slow down the confirmation process?
Well, you know what? I have more of an open concept about what's going on there. I actually did a lot of research on that myself. I'm a little disturbed that not only the liberals, but, the what the heck's his name? The Reverend, what's his name?
Sharpton?
Yeah, Sharpton. He's taken on the bandwagon, and they're all doing all this stuff, and it's really just to block good government and good progress. But the problem with the confirmations, the way that I have heard it, is this. You know what? Obama didn't have a problem getting his initial confirmations because there is an initial paperwork, it's just a few pages, that each confirmee has to fill out so that the Senate can review that so they know what kind of questions to ask. Apparently, what they're saying is that if the Republicans do not fill out that minimum paperwork for the background checks, that they are going to hold things up. You have to have a standard, and there's got to be. I mean, how do you confirm somebody if you don't know a damn thing about them? I kind of understand that, but if that's all just BS, if that's all just more sleight of hand to slow things down, then I'm totally opposed to it. Matter of fact, I'm pretty much opposed to anything that slows down Donald Trump getting his first 100 days to see how progressive he can be.
Well, I think that's the intent, at least initially, is to slow him down. Because one thing we know, Joe brought it up here last week when we had Scott Faulkner on, and Scott said it himself, Trump has to move fast in the first 100 days. If he doesn't, what will happen is the establishment will have time to catch their breath, and they'll be able to collude together, both sides of the aisle, to be able to stand against everything that Trump wants to do, because God knows the Republican Party doesn't want change than Democrats do.
Oh yeah, you hit the nail right on the head, and this is the really sad part about this, John. You've got a conservative in the White House, you've got a conservative-controlled Congress, you've got a House, you've got a conservative-controlled Senate, and the truth is, the guy that's in the White House really does not have the support of his own Senate and his own House of Representatives. These people were against him from the very start. They're just kind of caught between a rock and a hard place. They're the same good old boys that need to be drained from the swamp.
Yeah, I agree. But here's the bigger point. The narrative right now is going to be, I think what they're trying to do right now is they're trying to set up a foundation through this narrative that the confirmations are being done and they're not being vetted right and everything else. But I think what it is it's something that will be done for a short period of time. The confirmations will eventually take place. And then down the line, it's going to resurface as these nominees step into office and start performing their duties. It's going to now come back to them being unethical, because you can see it already. You can already see they're already trying to draw the contrast between Donald Trump and his business interests. and things like that. So I can see this being put together. The narrative is going to be that everybody in Donald Trump's administration is corrupt. Okay, and who knows better corruption than the left?
Well, this is my New Year's dream, not my New Year's resolution, because I haven't got any control over it, John. But my New Year's dream is, I honestly believe that everyone that Donald Trump is proposing for his cabinet will be approved. And I agree with you that later on down the line, they're going to use that to castigate these guys and the things that Donald Trump is doing. But the faster they can approve these guys, the faster the effect Donald Trump can have in his first 100 days. If he gets that momentum going, even the good old boys on the conservative side and the Democratic side are not going to be able to stop that momentum.
Yeah. You got anything to add to this, Joe?
Well, yeah, these guys will be confirmed. He'll get everything he wants. The Democrats won't be able to do it, to do the block. All this stuff is just bitching and whining, and just more of the same we've heard ever since starting from 9 November 2016. That's all we've heard out of the Democrat Party. They are just bitching and whining and complaining. They haven't been able to accept the fact that America has rejected them, period. And Donald Trump will get his nominees put through. These people will be confirmed, and rightfully so, because this paperwork not being done beforehand, yes, it has been done beforehand. And I'm here to tell you, and even if it wasn't done beforehand, the president's already been set where you didn't have to have it done, and that was done with George Bush and Barack Obama. So these people are just whining and complaining and just throwing so much stuff up in the air, and it's just, they should go around with sackcloth and just throw ashes all over themselves.
Joe, they're setting up the excuses that they want to use later on.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what the excuses are. There's my point on this: is it doesn't really matter whatever they're setting up, because they're going to do it anyway. Right. So the problem is ignore them and move on.
Yeah.
I agree. I agree with that. Hey, look, we're coming up here on our break here. We're going to take a short break here. When we come back and finish our conversation here with Bob, I don't know if you're playing dominoes or something, Bob, but whatever you're rattling around on your end over there, you need to put it away.
Oh, I'm not hitting anything. I don't know what. I'll look for it. I'll see what's going on.
All right. Okay. We'll be right back, guys.
And we'll be right back with Jon Matthews and Joe Hakos right after these brief messages.
Isn't it time to shine the spotlight on your expertise? The interview starring you. Here's your chance to capture 5 minutes of fame with the interview. This isn't just any interview. This is your opportunity to showcase your expertise and position yourself as a trusted expert in a one-on-one video interview hosted by Robert Cardoza, host of the nationally syndicated show Robert Cardoza Live and powered by Hakos and I. What is it? A professionally recorded video for your use. Robert Cardoza interviews you on the set where he records show. Professional interview showcases your expertise and value shot in a state-of-the-art studio. What's in it for you? Gain credibility as an expert in the trusted target market. Educate in a way that intrigues your audience. Gain a powerful marketing tool that offers dozens of uses. Websites, video sharing sites, social media, email, DVDs, direct mail, lobby video, resume, profile building, all that kind of stuff. Association with the nationally syndicated celebrity. That's right. And let's talk about AHA Studios. AHA is a strategic marketing firm that leverages the power in visual persuasion to help your business create powerful messages to connect with your target market. AHA ventures way beyond strategy, delivering the marketing collateral you need to start driving new business through your doors. AHA has a full-service in-house state-of-the-art production studio to bring your messages to life using video. Discover how to make the interview work for you. Call 949-831-2222. That's 949-831-2222.
And I am Robert Cardoza. You're listening to Robert Cardoza Live on the street at the intersection of business and politics. We're at 3:46 p.m. Pacific time. It is currently 58 degrees here in the heart of the Inland Empire in sunny Southern California. It's on its way down to 47 degrees. And if you're listening to us on our globally syndicated network and you're in London, England, it's 39 degrees and clear. And if you're in Vienna, Australia, listening to us, it's 21 degrees and partly cloudy. Well, John will be calling back in just any moment now with Joe Hakos. And hopefully I found the sound problem that he was having. I hope I found it. I'm I hate it when we have those kind of problems. I wasn't even aware that they were going on. But you know what? If we don't talk to each other, we never find out. You have to keep an open mind about the things that we say here between John and Joe and myself. A lot of it's to make you think about what's going on. Then a lot of it is to give you information that we think you may not have or have thought about. And we're back with Jon Matthews and Joe Hakos.
Hey, yes, there he is.
Wow, that's Bob.
That'd be Bob. What, guys? I don't know if I found the dominoes problem, but I think I have just a cable here that kept bouncing back and forth. Hopefully, that's taking care of it.
That's exactly. I made a note here to Bob. Bob thought you were calling us from a bowling alley. Joe thought you were calling, and I said no because I know he's streaming today, so I know it's got to be his table.
Yeah, that's probably what it was. Yeah, this cable was this. It just kept. Yeah. Anyway,
I just remember from being there. I bet you his table's moving. All right. Anyway, back to our conversation here. The slowing down the confirmation process. I think that's going to be all show. It's going to be all show. Just so that the left wants their people to believe that they still have some power. That's the point. It's going to be just a demonstration of, we're really fighting this battle for you. And, I don't know. I would just about bet in the background that every time Dick Schumer or Chuck Schumer, Mitch McConnell pass each other in the hallway, they're high-fiving each other. Because I really don't see either one of them really totally excited and anticipating the idea. The left is not going to be able to do what they want to do, and McConnell doesn't want to do anything. So it's going to be like, oh God, I got to actually do something now. I've got to actually do what I've told people we've been wanting to do for 8 years. We got our guy in the White House, we've got the Senate, we've got the House, and now I've got no more excuses. Of course, they do have some outlets here. You still got John McCain and Lindsey Graham running around. I'm wondering.
Those two guys are a bubble. They're half bubble off level. I don't know what's going on with those two guys.
Well, they are the left's favorite right. They are. When these guys go on left talk shows more than anybody. Actually, more than Karl Rove shows up in Fox News. And
they skip together on stage holding hands. I'm thinking there's a lot more to these two guys than meets the eye.
I don't know, but I'm thinking, what it is the establishment guys, the guys that have really been the icons for the establishment, and that's on the left and the right. You got Chuck Schumer now. You got Nancy Pelosi. You've got John McCain, Lindsey Graham. I'm waiting for Lamar Alexander to make a resurrection here somewhere down the line. And these guys are they're dying for some relevance. They're trying so hard to make it look like they're still relevant, and nobody has figured it out. The media still hasn't figured it out because the media is still entertaining them. Nobody's figured this out. Nobody cares about these people anymore. Okay, Trump did away with all that. He destroyed that concept that these are the people that we need to go to get the information. Now, on another note here, as we go along, as we continue the Russian hacking slash phishing expeditions, all this other stuff, and we see this going on down the line here. See, this I think I'm just going to say this. I think Lindsey Graham, who's out there walking point on this thing for the Republican Party that Russia hacked everything. I think this guy actually wants us to go to war.
Oh, I do too. I think both him and McCain want to see us go to war with Russia. And what a dumb position to take.
Well, is there a good winery or something over there in Russia?
No, not in Russia. I've been there. There's no good winery. There's no good wine in Russia.
Want to do that? Lindsey Graham, all he wants is a good winery or something, right?
Yeah, he might be going there for the vodka.
Oh yeah, well, I think vodka's too strong for him. The wine definitely shows an effect. Yeah. But McCain out there the other day asking the NSA guy James Clapper, Ron Clapper off, and asking him if the Russians hacking us was an act of war. And I'm thinking, if that's the case, then we have declared war on everybody.
Yeah. Yeah. Isn't that the truth? And we did it long before. These guys, I got to tell you, I've never been so disappointed. Let me preface this by saying I love this country. I love the country that I live in, and I recognize that we have some challenges here. But I don't think there's a better country to live in. But I've never been more disappointed in our seat of government than I have been for the last 8 years, and hopefully not the next 4.
Well, there was a poll. I agree with you. And this is the saddest part, or the hardest part of doing radio these days, is knowing that the ignorance factor, and I'm not saying stupidity so much as literally ignorance, meaning not knowing what is how things are supposed to be. And there was a Marist poll that came out today that said that 80% of America wants Supreme Court justices that interpret law as our framers who wrote the Constitution intended.
Right.
Now, you would think, wow, that is a great statistic.
Wow, originalists? You want originalists?
Yeah. 80% of the country says they want Supreme Court justices that interpret the Constitution as it was written. And I'm thinking, again, it's one of those things. You read it and you go, wow, this is fantastic. Except probably only 10% of the 80% knows what's in the Constitution.
If that.
Yeah. Yeah. But I'll give you that. Now, you know what? And I support that, recognizing that the world as our founding fathers knew it has really changed, but there was a lot of wisdom behind what they actually articulated in the Constitution. And you've got to be very, very careful to try and interpret that in a way that is different than what was intended.
Well, you can't.
The world may have changed, but human nature hasn't.
Yeah.
There was another.
That's what these documents really refer to more often than not.
There was enough authorship during the writing of the Constitution and the entire ratification process, and even after the Constitution was written, by our framers, signifying and emphasizing that it was to be taken the way it was written. Yeah. They weren't putting little clauses in there, except for this exception, or this, that, and the other. And people are saying, well, they didn't know that we were going to have these social issues. No, maybe they didn't know. But that wasn't the point. They knew enough about government to know, and were scholars of past governments and empires and everything else, to know that, hey, this is the greatest experiment in the world. We are going to allow the people that are going to be governed to choose who is going to govern them. Now, nobody else ever did that. Yeah. And they knew that. And somewhere in their mindset, they all knew, whether they agreed on the actual structure of the government in the beginning or not, they at least understood what we put down here on paper has to be applied the way we intended it, and it's not open for negotiation. And that's what. And so I said, I saw that article today, and I went, wow, this rocks. 80% of the country wants originalists in the Supreme Court. Now, I bet you, if you went and used that word to 80% of them, 2 to 3% would be able to tell you what that means.
One of the problems that I see, and I've been seeing it over and over again, Joe and John, and I think that you'll agree with what I'm going to say, is all of a sudden we have 535 legislators up in Washington, D.C., who seem to find it very easy to say, we need another amendment. We need to do away with what's already written in there. And I've got real serious problems with that.
Yeah, I know. And let's just hope that over the course of the next 4 years, we get our first Supreme Court justice and maybe a couple more. Maybe Ginsburg will finally pass out and not wake up, and we'll get a couple. We'll get a couple more in there. Breyer's supposed to be retiring, and let's hope we get a 7-2 split by the time this first term is over. We're out of time, Bob. I wanted to give you a moment to promote your show.
Hey, you know what? I really appreciate it. I love doing this twice a week with you guys. And for those of you that would like to listen to my show, just go to my website at robertcardozalive.com and get my app. You can get that. Just go to your app store, search Robert Cardoza Live. It's there. It's absolutely free. You can download it, and when you're done listening to John's show, you can plug my show show and listen to that too. But for you listeners that are my listeners, you can do just the opposite. Go to Jon's website and you can listen to his show after mine. In the meantime, guys, I look forward to talking to you on Friday. This is a joy to have you back.
Yeah, it's great to finally connect the first time.
have a great week. We'll talk to you on Friday.
Okay, man. We'll talk to you later.
All right. So when we come back, we'll be talking to Jon Hansen, a little old wine drinker. We'll be talking about food and wine. Jon will be with us shortly. We've got a lot to cover, so we'll see what actually transpires when we get there. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
If you want to increase your client base and sales, then consider this, the Relationship Building Network at RBN. Given the current economic conditions and challenges, we all need to work smarter, make smarter decisions, invest our hard-earned dollars where it'll yield the best return for our investment. Many business professionals claim that the most effective networking group in Orange County is RBN. No other networking group or organization can offer what RBN offers. Make every year your best year. Join RBN and start reaping the benefits today. You know, nearly 3,000 businesses have joined RBN and experienced those benefits. Why join RBN? It's one group. It's one membership. It's no renewals. It's all through Orange County. RBN is a freestyle networking group. No mandatory attendance, no restrictions, no rules, and no penalties. Call them at 949-830-5776 or go to their website at rbninfo.com. That's 949-830-5776. If you've ever dreamed of having your own business to make your life secure, you know Water's Edge Wineries might be just the ticket. In 2004, their founder, Ken Lineberger, created the first winery franchise in California. It was a new concept with all of the functionality of a traditional winery, but without the vineyards. They purchase high-quality grape must from one of the largest winemaking companies in the world. Then they craft each wine carefully and bottle it right at their location. The winery was built to satisfy consumer demand for wine by the bottle and by the glass, but still kept the element of allowing customers to bottle their own custom vintage. Now, they're opening urban wineries across the United States under the brand Water's Edge Wineries. If you've ever dreamed of owning your own winery, it may be in reach right now through Water's Edge Wineries. Just give them a call at 909-468-9463, extension 700. That's Water's Edge Wineries, 909-468-9463. Have you ever found yourself caught between a rock and a hard place? The law offices of Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett might be just the answer for you. The attorneys of Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett have been serving the Inland Empire since 1989. They're dedicated to the aggressive litigation of civil, criminal, and real estate matters. Over the years, they have recovered tens of millions of dollars for their clients. The firm's practice specializes in litigation of personal injury, accident, slip and fall, real estate, and criminal law cases. The firm provides clients with the care, accuracy, and dedication of experienced attorneys. Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett is located at 10300 4th Street, Suite 150 in Rancho Cucamonga, California. They've been providing the Inland Empire residents with outstanding legal services for over 25 years. They look forward to providing you with aggressive legal representation. Call them at 909-945-5000, where you can talk to a person, not a machine. That's 909-945-5000, the law offices of Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett. And now let's get back to our show where we talk about politics, money, and you.
When they ask who's a fool in the corner crying, I say, a little old wine drinker me.
And now, from the middle of a vineyard somewhere, a man who's never met a grape he couldn't cuddle up to, our resident advanced sommelier, Jon Hansen.
And I am Robert Cardoza. You're listening to Robert Cardoza live on the street at the intersection of business and politics. We're at 4:01 p.m. Pacific time. Currently 58 degrees here in the heart of the Inland Empire. In sunny Southern California, it's on its way down to 47 degrees. And if you're listening to us on our globally syndicated network and you're in Madrid, Spain, well, it's 32 degrees and partly cloudy. And if you're in Tokyo, Japan, listening to our shows, our words of wisdom, it's 44 degrees and it is clear. But right now, I got to tell you, here's a guy that I haven't talked to. I feel like I haven't talked to him for a quarter of the year, but I know it hasn't been that long. But it's been a long time. Our own Jon Hansen, that little old wine drinker. Hey, Jon, how you doing, buddy?
Great, buddy. It seems like I haven't talked to you in a year.
God, yeah.
Like, last time I talked to you was 2016.
Yeah, and we were, and it was you and me and our wives all alone on Main Street at Disneyland.
Oh, what a great time! What a great time we had there.
Yeah.
Do we have any New Year resolutions planned this year?
Nah, I don't keep them anyway, so what the hell?
Mine usually lasts about, I don't know, maybe a month and a half, and then I'm back.
So listen, I've been dying to ask you, because I knew something special happened to you during the holidays, or for you during the holidays, and that was you had your granddaughter Avery with you for the holidays. How'd it go?
Oh, it was incredible. Bob, it was. I actually took Christmas Day off, and the holidays, of course, is a busy time at Disney there, and Christmas Day is actually one of our busier days. But this was the first time because my little granddaughter, she's 5 years old, and so we kind of, we do everything diplomatically. We rotate who gets who, and so it goes through, my son's mom to Heidi's parents to finally, Raina and myself finally got her. So this was our Christmas where we actually had her Christmas Day, and so I took Christmas off, and since Christmas fell on a Sunday anyways, my usual day off, but normally I work even if Christmas falls on a Sunday, but I took Sunday off and actually took Monday and Tuesday off so we can spend a little extra time with our little granddaughter. And I tell you, it's been so long since we had a little one get up early and scream and all that excitement and opening presents like that.
It makes you feel like a kid again. You see everything through her eyes, don't you?
Oh, I think I was more excited than she was, actually.
Yeah, and now I'm guessing that my good buddy John Hansen and Raina are going through withdrawals because she's been gone for a week.
Yeah, she's been gone for a week, but we'll see her next weekend.
Yeah.
We had to do a couple things this weekend. We're closing a rental property up in Victorville, so we're focusing on that. And just actually, I mean, it's funny, Bob. Raina made me go all out in decorations because it takes a week.
She just really had to twist your arm, didn't she, John? She just really had to twist your arm, huh?
But what's funny? Somehow, everybody's gung ho. Oh yeah, we're going to do this. We're going to do this. And then when it's time to get things done, I seem to be a solo act.
Yeah, all that support. You looked around behind you, and there was no one there, right?
Yeah, exactly. It's like, okay, we're going to go to the field. We're going to decorate everything. We're going to put everything up. We're going to make it look great for little Avery. And also, it's like, where is everybody? And the same thing happens when it's okay. It's the first year we got to take everything down. Where is everybody? So it's funny. It takes like a week or so to get everything up, and then it takes probably a good half a week to get everything back down up into the attic in the garage. So that's basically been my chore for the last couple of weeks. But it's been crazy at work, and New Year's and Christmas is the busy time of the year, and I'm happy it's over. Actually, now I can just relax and get back to the swing of things. Yeah,
I feel it's not a bah humbug thing because I really enjoy the holidays, but I'm glad it's over and we're back to normal and all those things. Hey, John, I'd like you to talk about your mother-in-law's 75th birthday and what you did for her.
Yeah. Well, what we did, we got her, and honestly, if you think about it, Bob, it's actually a very good deal because Disney price again. Disney now is $100 and some, and what we did the private tour. We have what we call plaids, an escort to escort you around. And we get in front of all the lines, any rides you want. We get the reserved seatings if you want to go to shows. We get to go backstage and meet all the characters. You just get the royal treatment. And what it is, it's about $3,000, but you can add up to 10 people to do this. And if you figure, if you're paying $100 and some a ticket, basically it's like double a ticket. But you get to go on over double the rides, and you get the VIP treatment and everything. So actually, it's really not that bad of a deal. If you come to think of it, if you had 10 people, it's well worth it. And I tell you, I've never done it. And my Raina's mom turned 75. And which is weird because I have a brother that's 74. But But yeah, she's a big Disney fan, and so we did this. And I tell you, we had a time of our lives. It was so much fun. That Frozen show was incredible. I tell you that. I mean, that was just amazing.
The sets for Frozen and the graphics and the special effects were just absolutely unbelievable.
Unbelievable, actually. And it's funny because they actually used the curtain. They used the whole stage and beyond, where everything was reflecting off everything. And it was an amazing show. And anybody hasn't seen it, and it's funny because I was so impressed with that. And what happened? I guess it was Aladdin that was there for so long, and it was such a popular show. And when they took that off and put Frozen there was an uproar. It was like, no, we want Aladdin back. But I tell you, once the people go to Frozen, that kind of muffled everything right there, because that was just an amazing show. And we were so impressed. We had a great time. And then we took actually a little break to go clean up, wash up, refresh ourselves. And we came back and we had an incredible dinner at Club 33 as well.
Well, you know what? You missed something, because you actually started her celebration at 11 o'clock or noon at the Anaheim White House.
You know, it's funny you mentioned that, because I just talked to Franco, and he made me promise that you and I will be in within the next couple of weeks to have a nice lunch with him at the White House. But yeah, we started it off since as one of our favorite places. Actually, I guess we can say for lunch, our favorite place.
Yeah, it seems to be that's our go-to place.
Our go-to place. Although, as I said, the Bistro Blue is a nice alternative. But Bob, have you heard? And it's funny. We came across this. I guess they are closing for lunch, and it's strictly just going to be for dinner now.
Bistro Blue?
Yeah, they remodeled. They're actually they were closed out. It's funny because I wanted to find out when they were open, and I didn't get a chance to drive by see when they were going to open up again. Mm-hmm. But they remodeled a little bit, and they were going to be closed for lunch and just strictly for dinner.
Wow.
Maybe we can persuade him to keep it open for dinner. We'll see. He changes his mind all the time, the chef over there.
Hey, John, you know how difficult it is to run a restaurant. The poor guy's probably tired.
Oh, yeah. I can imagine. Day and night, it definitely worries you.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. We'll see. He's probably experimenting, see what goes on. But they did remodel a little bit, and they will be opening soon. But his plans was strictly just for dinner. But we'll see how that goes. I'm sure if a lot of the regulars say, "Hey, we need you to be open for lunch," he'll probably open back up for lunch.
Yeah. And so back to Club 33. I just wanted people to know that you had actually taken your mother-in-law over to the Anaheim White House for a magnificent brunch, and then off to Disneyland. So why don't you pick it up at the Club 33?
Yeah, well, as I said, unfortunately, like I say, everybody go out and go to Club 33 is simply amazing, but unfortunately you can't. You have to be a member, and it is quite pricey, and I think there's a 9-year wait to actually get in, and I believe it's like $30,000 just to be a member. So, and you still have to pay for the food on top of that. So yeah. It is a really pricey venue there, but it is prestigious, and what a time we had. And, they remodeled about a year and a half ago. And we actually got a grand tour afterwards. But what it is now, it's a 5-course dinner. It's $125 a person, and you have 4 options per each course. And we were a party of 5. It was you, your lovely wife, Marlene, Raina, myself, and Lucy, Raina's mom. And it was good because we kind of picked different things, so we can try different things as well. But it was so much fun, and we just totally lost track of time. Because when we left, it was like 1 o'clock in the morning, and the park already closed, and we were walking out, and it was just security people. They were just pointing to the exit.
Well, John, the park had been closed since midnight. You knew one of the line chefs that were there. He took us back into the kitchen for a full-blown tour of the kitchen and everything while they were getting ready for the next day. And then we walked outside. Nothing. There were still some lights on, and you could still hear music, but it was just the maintenance crew in security. That was all that was there. And we couldn't even get out of Disneyland the way you normally get in.
Exactly. It's just some cast members that were cleaning up, that was getting ready. Of course, the night shift came in that basically, goes through the park and so forth, and security, and that was basically it. It was funny because the reason why we went there, Bob, is because we were going to do a Tierra Roja dinner.
Right.
Dr. Brenneman wanted to do he's a club member, a Tierra Roja dinner there. And our party grew too close to 20. And when he went to make the reservations, as I said, the holidays are the busiest time for Disney. They kind of looked at him and said, "Oh, you're crazy. The biggest party we can get you in is maybe 6." And he goes, "Well, I got like 20." He goes, "That's not going to happen." So we're going to reschedule that for he said shortly, after the beginning of the year, so I'm expecting a call from him. But a good friend of mine who was also a club member actually got us in. And so we were actually right next to Dr. Bremer, since he could only make a party of 6 or so, or 7. We sat next to him, and we were trying his wines too. But I tell you, all those wines they brought in, and our good friend Bobby V, who's been on our show several times, that makes a wine in Vegas, that is pretty amazing. He brought these 100-point wines in, and we had this 07 Altamira cab.
Oh, yeah.
Best out all the wines he was bringing over to the table.
Oh, yeah.
Which was amazing because, he was bringing all these 100-point wines in that were just these big, extractive monsters that, they were just okay. And we had this 97 Altamira that was peak, and that was just beautiful. We love this wine. We had to order another bottle of it because it was by far. And I even let them try this wine, and most of the table concurred that this is the wine of the evening.
Yeah.
And out of all these 100-point wines that they brought in, that 07 Altamira was the shining star of the evening, which was kind of ironic.
It was phenomenal. The whole evening was phenomenal. And you know what, John? It was exciting. I mean, thanks to you, Marty and I have been to Club 33 a number of times now, but it was just okay before. This one, now that they've remodeled it and they put in the 5-course dinner, this one knocks your socks off.
Well, I mean, it was funny because before, Bob, to get in, it's still, if you know somebody, it's the only way you can get in. You have to have a member make the reservation for you. And I tell you, the best thing on the menu before was the chicken and macaroni and cheese. If you can imagine that. And now, of course, the executive chef at Napa Rose is overseeing. Although it had the executive chef Andrew Sutton on the menu, Chef Jason is the actual executive chef there, and he just kind of oversees everything there. He oversees Carpe Circle and Club 33, but he is Napa Rose's executive chef there. And I tell you, it has improved immensely. But the only downfall, and it's funny because we get a lot of club members into Napa Rose, and the reason why they're in Napa Rose is because they
can't get into their own club.
Well, also they don't want to have a 5-course dinner, and that's your only option. It's the 5-course dinner. That's it. It's 125 persons.
Yeah, and you either have it with wine pairings or not with wine pairings. It's more expensive if you want it with the wine pairings. But you know what? I've never been to a dinner where my good buddy Jon Hansen hasn't done a lot better for me picking the wines than me just having wine pairings.
Well, that too. Yeah, we have all the events. Someone is at Napa Rose. There isn't any at Club 33, unfortunately. But as I said, if somebody's coming in as a club member and it's kind of late, and it's like we just kind of graze. We just want to get something light, like maybe just like a steak. they don't have that option at Club 33. So we get a lot of club members in the Napa Rose, and honestly, the food was amazing, but they still say that the Napa Rose is still the best venue at Disney. It's fun. They love the bar, and I was hoping to get you in the bar, but as I said, they kind of shut us out at 1 o'clock in the morning.
That just leaves something for next time. But what?
Dr. Branford said that we would definitely go to the bar when he does the Terra Roja thing, because everybody, you have to see this bar because it is crazy. It's kind of like the haunted house where they have the ghosts, but they're playing instruments at the bar, and it's like every 15, 20 minutes, this ghost will start playing a trumpet or something at the bar. It's amazing the show there at the bar at Club 33. So we will get there, I promise you. It will be and as I said, Dr. Branford, he promised us, hey, we'll definitely go to the bar if it's before or after the actual dinner. But once we get a date, set for the Terra Roja dinner at Club 33.
Well, I got to tell you, that dinner that we had was just out of this world. It was magnificent. But switching back over to the Napa Rose, that's certainly got to be one of the top restaurants in the country. And the thing is you're absolutely right. You can go in there and you don't have to go for a full-blown 5-course meal. You can just go in there and just have an appetizer, or just have a main course and nothing else, or just go in and have a dessert and a cup of coffee if that's what you want to do. That's the beauty of Napa Rose.
Absolutely, and we do have a rather large bar area as well. If you want just to get something quick and have just like something quick to drink, a glass of wine with maybe a little appetizer, you can actually just sit at the bar without reservations. First come, first serve. They don't do reservations at the bar. So if there's an open table, you can just come in and grab it and just get something quick in and out. If you do want to have a nice dinner, I definitely suggest to make reservations. And what we're renowned for now is, of course, the kitchen table, and that usually takes a good 3 weeks to get in, because it's only 3 little areas that they do the kitchen table. And it's kind of something very similar to Club 33. It is a set menu. What happens, you get down to the table, but the chef, it's not where they give you a menu and you choose from. The chef will come over and ask you a couple items, if there's any dietary restrictions, food allergies, severe likes, dislikes. If the chef was to do like a beef dish, how would you like it? Maybe a few other things, and just creates an incredible dining experience for you.
Yeah.
It's 5 courses. Which is basically the same as Club 33, and it's only $100, so you're saving $25, but you have that surprise element because the chef won't tell you what's coming up till he serves it, and then he totally comes over and describes each dish.
But that makes it fun, John. And if you had 3 or 4 people there and everybody got something different, now we're talking. Hey, John, we got to take a short break. When we come back, let's continue this conversation.
Absolutely.
We'll be right back with our own little old winemaker, John Hansen, right after these brief messages.
Isn't it time to shine the spotlight on your expertise? The Interview, starring you. Here's your chance to capture 5 minutes of fame with The Interview. This isn't just any interview. This is your opportunity to showcase your expertise and position yourself as a trusted expert in a one-on-one video interview hosted by Robert Cardoza, host of the nationally syndicated show Robert Cardoza Live and powered by AHA Studios. What is it? A professionally recorded video for your use. Robert Cardoza interviews you on the set where he records his show. Professional interview showcases your expertise and value, shot in a state-of-the-art studio. And what's in it for you? Gain credibility as an expert, earn the trust of your target market, educate in a way that intrigues your audience, gain a powerful marketing tool that offers dozens of uses, website, video sharing sites, social media, email, DVDs, direct mail, lobby video, resumes, profile building, all that kind of stuff. Association with the nationally syndicated celebrity. That's right. And let's talk about AHA Studios. AHA is a strategic marketing firm that leverages the powerful in visual persuasion to help your business create powerful messages that connect with your target market. AHA ventures way beyond strategy, delivering the marketing collateral you need to start driving a new business through your doors. AHA has a full-service, in-house, state-of-the-art production studio to bring your messages to life using video. Discover how to make the interview work for you. Call 949-831-2222. That's 949-831-2222. AHA Image Studios, Incorporated. Dr. Stephen Tidwell, Gentle Family Dentistry in a caring, personalized environment. Here at Dr. Tidwell's office, we are dedicated to helping you keep your teeth healthy. We are a state-of-the-art dental practice that still believes in traditional values, such as excellent customer service and individual attention. We have a special welcoming offer for you for just $39, a complete exam, personal consultation, professional cleaning, and all necessary x-rays. That's a $266 value for $39. Dr. Tidwell has 2 convenient locations and experienced staff to provide you with professional care and personal attention that you deserve. Call today. Don't delay. A great smile another day. Call 909-944-7308. That's 909-944-7308 for Rancho Cucamonga or San Bernardino. Joel Saltzman is Dr. Wireless. He has turned his considerable expertise into consumer credit risk and wireless security into a highly specialized independent web-based consulting enterprise targeting consumer credit risk analysis and wireless transactional security and monitoring. He works as a wireless analyst, veteran independent agent, and consumer liaison for most wireless telecom carriers and equipment manufacturers. For more than 20 years, corporate and private clients and media audiences have counted on his unvarnished advice while weighing the technology, performance, and cost differences between Sprint, Nextel, AT&T, Verizon, and T-Mobile. Joel specializes in setting up mobile wireless hotspots to be used for disaster preparedness, business continuity, and mobile wireless merchant processing solutions. Call Dr. Wireless at 310-400-4900 or go to his webpage at drwireless.com. Again, call 310-400-4900 or his webpage at drwireless.com. You'll be glad you did. And now, back to our show.
And I am Robert Cardoza. You're listening to Robert Cardoza live on the street at the intersection of business and politics. We're at 4:23 p.m. Pacific time. Hey, it's getting warmer. It's 59 degrees here in the heart of the Inland Empire in sunny Southern California, but now it says it's going down to 46. And if you're listening to us on our globally syndicated network and you're listening to us in Sydney, Australia, well, it's 81 degrees and partly cloudy. Wow. And if you're in Lisbon, Portugal, it's 54 degrees and it's clear. But you know what? No clouds ever over the head of my good buddy, that little old wine drinker, Jon Hansen. John, we were talking about not just Club 33, but the Napa Rose. And one of the things you were mentioning was that they have their chef's table, and I guess that's really just like a bar that rings the kitchen area, and the chef he just chooses what you're going to have. So if you're a party of 4, does he pick something different for each one of you?
Absolutely, absolutely, and it's a little different dining. It's not as romantic, if you will. You took a date or your wife or so, because you're sitting at the counter and you're actually interacting with the culinary crew. The chef comes over, talks with you. It is an open kitchen, so you see everything done in front of you as well. They're making stuff. What are you making? And all the culinary crew, of course, is more than cordial, and they respond to you, and it's a lot of fun. It's a fun evening. But as I mentioned, you have that surprise element, which even adds to the romance of the evening, where you don't know what you're getting. They just put something in front of you, and then the chef will come over and totally describe each dish for you. As I said, they will ask you ahead of time if there is some, I hate mushrooms, so they won't give you a mushroom dish, or, I'm a vegan. We can actually do a vegan or vegetarian chef's counter. They're very flexible up there. And as I say, they make everything perfect. All their meats are the way you like it. They will ask you these simple questions and just create an incredible dining experience. And it's a lot of fun. And it's funny because when we first opened, now 16 years ago, we couldn't sit the kitchen counter at all until the chef created what he calls the kitchen table. And now it is by far the most popular. It is, as I said, if you're interested in doing the kitchen table, do make your reservations at least 3 weeks in advance, because there's 2 seatings, one at 5:30 and one at 8:30, and they are the most popular seats at the restaurant, for obvious reasons, of course. And it is a lot of fun. And, of course, we can do a wine pairing. If you're not a wine drinker, you can just do the kitchen table. And if you like, one of the sommeliers will definitely do a wine pairing for you with each course to even enhance the dining experience for you. We can also do a beer pairing. If you're not a wine drinker, I only drink beer. Hey, we can do a beer pairing for you as well. So it's a great experience for anybody out there, and I highly, highly recommend that. But Bob, what I also wanted to talk about, since we just did the New Year just came upon us. There was a lot of options out there, and my wife, of course, she knows I have to work, so she comes in, and what is great, usually there's a couple of really close friends that come in every year as well. She kind of rotates around the dining room with one of our close friends that comes in. And
for New Year's?
Every New Year's, she's sat with you, of course, with your New Year experience there too, and it's a lot of fun. But what we do at New Year's, I wanted to mention that we have 2 seatings. First seating is right at 5:30, and it's $130 a person. It's a lot of fun. It's a great venue. But the second seating, it's a little pricey maybe, but as you look at what's out there, it's $250, and you get a 7-course dinner, and everything is timed out for you. So right at midnight, you get a nice glass of champagne, truffles. Actually, you get a nice little kind of like a little bake thing the chef does for the next morning, so when you wake up, you have something to enjoy.
Yeah, but the food just keeps coming.
Oh, as I said, it's 7 courses, and I want to just quickly go over what was on the menu last night.
Yeah.
You don't actually get a choice unless you do mention it that, hey, I don't eat beef, or, I'm a pescatarian or vegetarian or vegan. We did have other options for that. But on the menu that night, once you sat down, you had a glass of champagne. And as I said, it was Louis de Saussay, which is $100 and some a bottle. You had the glass when you walked in the door, they give you a glass of champagne. Then you sit down. There was live entertainment. The band was magnificent. It was amazing. But the first course, the chef started off with an ahi crudo. So it's like a kind of diced, ahi tuna with little. It's actually citrus seared. So it's just, it's basically just matter of seconds on the grill there. You had an ahi hamachi sushi grade tuna, yellowtail tuna, with a little cetra caviar, with a little tangerine vinaigrette, and a little diced avocado with there. And we also did a wine pairing. If you wanted to do a wine pairing, we did the Altamira Sauvignon Blanc out of Napa Valley for 2012. And, of course, that was the cab we had at Club 33. That was just amazing. Frank Altamira was one of the nicest guys you ever met. What an amazing winery, too. The wines are just simply amazing. The second course was the seared rare A5. That's the top Kobe beef you can get. And it's funny because it comes with the nose print of the actual cow.
Really?
Yeah. So it's kind of like a thumbprint. This is what that cow was, and it comes with a nose print on there with the A5 Kobe beef. There was a little persimmon habanero sauce with a little chili pineapple, and I tell you, that was just delightful. The third course, it was a king crab agnolotti, kind of like raviolis, if you will, with a little shaven Port Alba white truffle. You had a little crab broth, a little lump crab there as well, and we did the Domaine Olivier from Saltenay. And Saltenay, I love the reds, but I tell you, that Chardonnay was amazing. It was just elegant, light, the minerality coming off that wine. That was in 2013. And then you had a 30-minute little intermission just to relax, go dance, enjoy the band. And then we came back with a nice little goose. Christmas chef's known for his Christmas goose. We had to do the goose gratin, and that was with a warm-paired chestnut moly, which was interesting but delicious. You had a little pomegranate vinaigrette with a little Asian pear slaw with that. We did the Stoltman Sauvignon Blanc. I'm sorry, the Stoltman Sangiovese Ballard Canyon 2013. For the main course, they did a huckleberry and herb rubbed buffalo Chateaubriand.
Wow.
And that was just insane. And he paired it with, you had a little braised buffalo short rib with that as well, which was braised for hours, a little sauteed pine mushrooms, and a little pumpkin puree. And they did the Stag's Leap Cellars, the Optimus, which is like their high-end cab, 2014. And then for dessert, you had this incredible chocolate dessert with a little caramel passion fruit sauce, a little chocolate grenache. And we did Michel Chapoutier, the Bagnols. And it was fun because, I wanted to bring this up because Bagnols is a wine that nobody sees. It's just an amazing wine. It's a Vin de Naturel. And you have what you call Vin de Naturel and Vin de Liqueur. And Vin de Naturel, it's where they take wine, they fortify it, kind of like a port with the Aquadente, the clear brandy. Vin de Liqueur is where they just take the juice before they make wine and fortify it, the wine. So it's a little different process where you're just fortifying the juice or you're fortifying the wine. And finally, they gave chocolate truffles and that little to-go thing that you bring home with one more glass of that Louis de Saucy. And then we escorted everybody out on the dance floor where they did the countdown and brought in the new year. And it was just a spectacular evening. It's a lot of fun. There's so many options out there for New Year's Eve, but I tell you that it was amazing. Everybody was so excited. And I even had a good time, Bob, and I had to work.
Well, yeah, but you know what? Everybody in that restaurant knows you. You're a friend to everybody there. So it was almost like you were there as a host.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's funny because so many people become family there, and it's just, especially New Year's Eve. We have, I would say, probably 75% are the same people that come every year. They just love it, and you get 25% of a new crowd or so, and they love it too. So it kind of increases, and it is a lot of fun, and it is something I do enjoy. And as I said, my wife, for the last 6-7 years, has been going there, so it's kind of a tradition now. And
well, yeah, but you get to bring in the new year with your wife. That's pretty cool.
Exactly, and it makes it more. I can't spend the whole night, though I spend most of the night there with her, of course. But she's entertained with her friends, and I come over, and we do get to bring the new year together. So it is a special event for us. But I know we're getting short on time, so one of my New Year's resolution is to do the wine pick. Right.
I'm gonna see if I can hold you to that, John.
As I said, my New Year's resolutions usually go about a month and a half. But we're going to start the year off right. We're going to do the wine pick of the week. But I wanted to mention a couple other things. On the 17th of January, our good friends at Ways and Means, and unfortunately relocated down on PCH in Huntington Beach, and the address is 21022 Pacific Coast Highway in Huntington Beach. You can go to their website at Ways and Means, or you can call them at 714-960-4300. And they on the 17th they had their second annual. It's called Shuck It. And And what it is, it starts at 11 a.m. and it's basically like an oyster eating contest. And it's a charity event. A lot of the proceeds go to charities. It's a lot of fun. And you can buy a ticket. It's $20 or so, and it's like the 2-course lunch, and you can watch this event. It's a lot of fun. And like for $10 more, you get an endless glass of blonde ale. Their blonde ale there, and it's a fun event. It's a good cause. It's for charity. It's on the 17th, and I want to mention that.
Well, what day of the week is the 17th, John?
It's a good question. I want to say it's a weekend. Let's grab the calendar here, and I'll tell you exactly. It is on the... No, it isn't. It's, let's see, Saturday. It's a Tuesday, actually. So, Tuesday night on the 17th.
Well, not Tuesday night. You said at 11 o'clock.
I mean, it's Tuesday morning, Tuesday morning on the 17th. And basically, what it's like the local fire department, the police department, the lifeguards have a team, and it's this oystering contest. It's a lot of fun. As I said, it is a Tuesday, so it's a work day. But they do this as just a charitable event, and if you do have that day off, go down. It is a lot of fun.
John, it sounds like a lot of fun, but I got to tell you, I mean, I like oysters, but I don't know that I'd want to chuck them like that fast to see how many I could eat. I like to savor them, you know.
Exactly, and we have done that there at Ways and Means.
Yeah, we have.
They do have the oyster night where you get from $2 an oyster, where you can't beat that. And they do have a nice little selection. And don't forget, Bob, you know what Wednesday night is? Wednesday night's $50 off a bottle, 50% off all their wines. So if you wanted to get that $100 bottle of wine at Ways and Means, it's only $50 on Wednesday night. So don't forget that.
How on earth do they do that, John?
Remember the $9.99 lobster night?
Oh yeah.
Where we had the chef on and said it actually cost him $11 for the lobster. So
Jesus,
it's their lost leaders.
Yeah.
But how much time do we have, Bob?
We got a minute and a half.
A minute and a half, okay. Just a couple quick things. I'll do the wine pick of the week. Right now, the first couple weeks in January is the best time to buy wine because, you know, the big wine sales for the holidays, and the holidays over. So this is like the slowest time in wine business.
Hey, John, this I'm not going to count this time against you, but you need to keep an eye open for when Costco has their Chateauneuf to pop again.
Oh, I will let you know when I see it again. And Bob, it's funny because it'll show up at one place and not at the other. So you have that, honestly. And if I see it there, I'll let everybody know because it is an amazing bottle of wine. Yeah. And one store will have it, and then another store will have it, and it kind of just rotates around somewhere. But when I see it, I'll let everybody know as soon as possible. Hey, it's at this Costco. Go down and grab it.
I am not making that same mistake again. Boy, this time I'm buying a case of it.
Well, I tell you, for $20 a bottle, you can't beat it.
Yeah.
The Chateauneuf, you're lucky to get for $50-some. This is a great Chateauneuf to pop for $20 for less than half the price, and it is amazing. But talk about values. Robert Parker comes out with their end of the year, what they thought was best. And the best value of the year for Robert Parker was it was called the F4. And what it is Dave Feeney, who used to be the winemaker for Orange Swift, The Prisoner. Remember we had The Prisoner on as the wine pick of the week a couple of times because it's just an amazing bottle of wine and it's scoring so high that actually somebody came in and bought The Prisoner. Now it's called Prisoner Wines. But he does this, it's IF, and his I's are his little Italian wines, his F's are his French wines, and they're only like $16 a bottle.
Wow.
And they're incredible wines for like, $15, $16 a bottle. And they're great, and it's Dave Feeney, that's just an amazing winemaker. He makes these wines that are just a steal. Go out and get it. Right now, they just released the F4. They do like F1, F2, F3, F4.
Is that at Total Wines, John?
You can get it at Wine Access. Wine Exchange has a little bit of it. Total Wines will probably have some of that too. But look around. Just ask for the F4 by Dave Feeney. And it's only like $16 a bottle, $15 a bottle. It's just amazing. But to end the show, Bob, my wine pick of the week, it scored 92 points. It's a 2013 Raymond Cab for only $29 a bottle at Wine Exchange. I bought a bottle last time I was at Wine Exchange, and it was delicious. I am looking for it at Costco. I'm sure it's going to be about $24 a bottle at Costco or something. And it scored 92 points. Great bottle of wine for under $30. Great Napa Valley Cab for under $30. What a treat! I look for those things. Something under $30. That's just great out Napa.
Well, it's talking about a treat. Having you back on live has been a real treat.
Oh, well, it's a pleasure, Bob, and I haven't talked to you since 2015.
16, yeah. It hadn't been that long, John. Anyway, my friend, you have a wonderful evening. Give that lovely wife of yours a hug and a kiss from me, will you?
And you do the same for me, Bob.
All right. Stay safe, stay happy, stay warm, and stay dry.
Will do.
All right. And the rest of you folks over there, don't go away, because when we come back, we're going to talk about the birthdays for the day, the secret daily teaching for your life, the Harvard business tip of the day, and interesting but useless facts. We'll give all those to you right after these brief messages.
If you want to increase your client base and sales, then consider this. The Relationship Building Network at RBN. Given the current economic conditions and challenges, we all need to work smarter, make smarter decisions, invest our hard-earned dollars where it'll yield the best return for our investment. Many business professionals claim that the most effective networking group in Orange County is RBN. No other networking group or organization can offer what RBN offers. Make every year your best year. Join RBN and start reaping the benefits today. You know, nearly 3,000 businesses have joined RBN and experienced those benefits. Why join RBN? It's one group. It's one membership. It's no renewals. It's all through Orange County. RBN is a freestyle networking group. No mandatory attendance, no restrictions, no rules, and no penalties. Call them at 949-830-5776 or go to their website at rbninfo.com. That's 949-830-5776. If you've ever dreamed of having your own business to make your life secure, you know Water's Edge Wineries might be just the ticket. In 2004, their founder, Ken Lineberger, created the first winery franchise in California. It was a new concept with all of the functionality of a traditional winery, but without the vineyards. They purchased high-quality grape must from one of the largest winemaking companies in the world. Then they craft each wine carefully and bottle it right at their location. The winery was built to satisfy consumer demand for wine by the bottle and by the glass, but still kept the element of allowing customers to bottle their own custom vintage. Now, they're opening urban wineries across the United States under the brand Water's Edge Wineries. If you've ever dreamed of owning your own winery, it may be in reach right now through Water's Edge Wineries. Just give them a call at 909-468-9463, extension 700. That's Water's Edge Wineries, 909-468-9463. Have you ever found yourself caught between a rock and a hard place? The law offices of Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett might be just the answer for you. The attorneys of Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett have been serving the Inland Empire since 1989. They're dedicated to the aggressive litigation of civil, criminal, and real estate matters. Over the years, they have recovered tens of millions of dollars for their clients. The firm's practice specializes in litigation of personal injury, accident, slip and fall, real estate, and criminal law cases. The firm provides clients with the care, accuracy, and dedication of experienced attorneys. Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett is located at 10300 4th Street, Suite 150 in Rancho Cucamonga, California. They've been providing the Inland Empire residents with outstanding legal services for over 25 years. They look forward to providing you with aggressive legal representation. Call them at 909-945-5000, where you can talk to a person, not a machine. That's 909-945-5000, the law offices of Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett. And now let's get back to our show where we talk about politics, money, and you.
And I am Robert Cardoza. You're listening to Robert Cardoza live on the street at the intersection of business and politics. We're at 4:44 p.m. Pacific time. Hey, it's still 59 degrees here in the heart of the Inland Empire in sunny Southern California, on its way down to 46 degrees. And if you're listening to us on our globally syndicated network and you're in Auckland, New Zealand, well, it's 72 degrees and it's mostly cloudy. And if you happen to be in Cleveland, Ohio, it's 27 degrees. And mostly cloudy, absolutely. Well, right now it's time for the Harvard Business Tip of the Day. And the management tip today is make sure that you have the right equipment to work remotely. You know, working from home or on the road can boost your productivity and engagement, but only if you have everything that you need to get your work done. Now, your phone and laptop are essential, of course, but there's other equipment that will make your life much easier. First of all, your own hotspot. Sometimes Wi-Fi won't be easily accessible. To make sure that you have a backup, look for tools that are portable, such as a USB stick from your wireless provider or your mobile phone. That's what I use for an extra hotspot. And how about a headset? You need one for those lengthy hands-free conversations. Consider a wired version that you won't have to change or pair wirelessly with your phone or computer. It's really not that inconvenient. And extra chargers. Keep one in your bag and in your car. You can't work if you don't have power, that's for sure. And you know what? A mini power strip. It's frustrating when you're about to run out of juice in a crowded cafe or at a convention and all of the outlets are taken. With this, you can ask one claimant to plug into your strip instead. Look for a compact cordless model. They're available and easy to use. And you know what? It'll make life a whole lot easier for you. Well, let's talk about the secret daily teaching for your life. You know that this is all about a positive mental attitude. You decide if you're going to be happy or sad or rich or poor, a success or a failure. You even decide if the people around you are going to be happy. It all depends on you. Well, you know what? The secret for today is that prosperity is your birthright, and you hold the key to more abundance in every area of your life than you can possibly imagine. Here's the thing. You deserve every good thing that you want, and the universe will give you every good thing that you want, but you have to summon it into your life. The secret is that you have the key. The key is your thoughts and feelings, and you have been holding that key in your hand all of your life. Yep. You decide how your life's going to go. Every morning when you get up, you look in the mirror and you say, wow, I'm going to have a profitable, productive day. I'm going to be happy. It's going to be fantastic. And I'm going to make everybody around me glad that they are. Well, you know what today is. Sure you do. We all know what today is. Today is Monday, January the 9th, and it is somebody's birthday. Well, we've got some good birthdays for you today, and the first one is a fellow that was born in 1913, passed away in 1994. You know what? He was the 37th president of the United States. He's been the only president to resign the office and to be elected twice in both the presidency and vice presidency. Happy birthday belated to Richard Nixon. And a fellow born in 1967, a singer and musician. He's best known as the lead vocalist, songwriter, and guitarist for the Dave Matthews Band. Happy birthday, Dave Matthews. And here's someone born 1978, football wide receiver for the Cincinnati Bengals of the NFL. Happy birthday, Chad Ochocinco. Yes, sir. Well, were you wondering what was going on in history today? Wonder no more. Just sit down in your favorite chair and let me tell you. On January the 9th, 1768, Philip Astley stages the very first modern circus in London, England. And on this date, in 1806, Admiral Horatio Lord Nelson receives a state funeral and is interred in St. Paul's Cathedral. And then finally, on this date, in 1951, the United Nations headquarters officially opens in New York City. Well, our quote for today comes from Louis Hector Berluis, and he says, "Time is a great teacher, but unfortunately, it kills all of its pupils." Well, give that some thought. That's not a very happy thought, is it? No, not at all. Well, you know what? It's time for those interesting but useless facts, so let me give you a few. You know that the first reptiles are believed to have evolved around 320 million years ago. Isn't that something? Yep, 320 million years ago. Well, the first U.S. Marines wore high leather collars to protect their necks from sabers. Hence the name leathernecks, the hiding leathernecks. Yep, that's where that came from. That's kind of interesting, don't you think? You know that bees have been known to cure rheumatism? Yep. By the way, that's the bee sting, just in case you were wondering. Here's one for you. American Express issues a special black card that allows the card holder to be able to purchase anything that they want. There is no limit. Now, and I've seen them. They are something. How about this? Did you know that Britain was the very first country to use postage stamps? That's kind of interesting. Then the rest of us kind of learned from that, huh? You know, I was just thinking, I remember when a postcard was 2 cents and a first-class letter was 3 cents. Those days are gone. How about this? The Angel of the North Gateshead, UK, with a wingspan of 177 feet, is the largest sculpture of an angel in the world to this day. Well, did you know that India is home to over 200 million cows? Yeah, and they're sacred there. Well, let me leave you with this one. The chocolate M&M's stands for the last names of Forrest E. Mars Sr. and candy maker and his associate Bruce Murray. Thus, M&M. And now you know where that came from. Speaking of that, don't go away. We're going to take a short break. When we come back, we're going to do our tribute to the late, great Paul Harvey and the rest of the story. And the story today is the pad. You're not going to want to miss it. We'll be right back after these brief messages. Do not go away.
Isn't it time to shine the spotlight on your expertise? The Interview, starring you. Here's your chance to capture 5 minutes of fame with The Interview. This isn't just any interview. This is your opportunity to showcase your expertise and position yourself as a trusted expert in a one-on-one video interview hosted by Robert Cardoza, host of the nationally syndicated show Robert Cardoza Live and powered by AHA Studios. What is it? A professionally recorded video for your use. Robert Cardoza interviews you on the set where he records his show. Professional interview showcases your expertise and value, shot in a state-of-the-art studio. And what's in it for you? Gain credibility as an expert, earn the trust of your target market, educate in a way that intrigues your audience, gain a powerful marketing tool that offers dozens of uses, website, video sharing sites, social media, email, DVDs, direct mail, lobby video, resumes, profile building, all that kind of stuff. Association with the nationally syndicated celebrity. That's right. And let's talk about AHA Studios. AHA is a strategic marketing firm that leverages the powerful and visual persuasion to help your business create powerful messages that connect with your target market. AHA ventures way beyond strategy, delivering the marketing collateral you need to start driving a new business through your doors. AHA has a full-service, in-house, state-of-the-art production studio to bring your messages to life using video. Discover how to make The Interview work for you. Call 949-831-2222. That's 949-831-2222. AHA Image Studios, Incorporated. Dr. Stephen Tidwell, Gentle Family Dentistry in a caring, personalized environment. Here at Dr. Tidwell's office, we are dedicated to helping you keep your teeth healthy. We are a state-of-the-art dental practice that still believes in traditional values, such as excellent customer service and individual attention. We have a special welcoming offer for you for just $39, a complete exam, personal consultation, professional cleaning, and all necessary x-rays. That's a $266 value for $39. Dr. Tidwell has 2 convenient locations and experienced staff to provide you with professional care and personal attention that you deserve. Call today. Don't delay. A great smile another day. Call 909-944-7308. That's 909-944-7308 for Rancho Cucamonga or San Bernardino. Joel Saltzman is Dr. Wireless. He has turned his considerable expertise into consumer credit risk and wireless security into a highly specialized independent web-based consulting enterprise targeting consumer credit risk analysis and wireless transactional security and monitoring. He works as a wireless analyst, veteran independent agent, and consumer liaison for most wireless telecom carriers and equipment manufacturers. For more than 20 years, corporate and private clients and media audiences have counted on his unvarnished advice while weighing the technology, performance, and cost differences between Sprint, Nextel, AT&T, Verizon, and T-Mobile. Joel specializes in setting up mobile wireless hotspots to be used for disaster preparedness, business continuity, and mobile wireless merchant processing solutions. Call Dr. Wireless at 310-400-4900 or go to his webpage at drwireless.com. Again, call 310-400-4900 or his webpage at drwireless.com. You'll be glad you did. And now, back to our show.
And I am Robert Robert Cardoza. You're listening to Robert Cardoza live on the street at the intersection of business and politics. We're at 4:55 p.m. Pacific time. Still 59 degrees here in the heart of the Inland Empire in sunny Southern California. It's on its way down to 46 degrees. And if you're listening to us on our globally syndicated network, and you're in Wichita, Kansas, where our own Sean LaFave's at, well, 45 degrees and partly cloudy. And if you're in Torrance, California, where Dr. Wireless is at, it's 61 degrees and mostly cloudy. But right now, it's time for us to do our tribute to the late, great Paul Harvey and the rest of the story. Yes, sir. You know what? The American Broadcasting Company calls him the biggest voice in America. He's Paul Harvey, and each week millions of listeners, viewers, and readers awaited his unraveling of the mysteries of events in the lives of people past and present. He was heard on over 1,400 radio stations, and he was seen on 110 television stations, and he was read in over 300 newspapers. The rest of the story has for years been exploring the byways of history with revelations that are intriguing, amusing, and surprising. Well, today's story is the pad. Yeah, you know what? Clotworthy Seffington, the second Earl of Mazarine, in 1765, at the age of 23, visited Paris. He liked it so much that he stayed for 24 years. Perhaps so would you have stayed had you found the circumstances, elegance, and grace enjoyed by the Earl of Mazarine. What was the life he loved? Well, the Earl of Mazarine was so comfortable in Paris and in his surroundings that in 20 years he left his suite of apartments only once or twice. And if you think this is carrying home sweet home a bit too far, try to understand it from the Earl's viewpoint. The outdoors offered little allure. There was hunting, perhaps, but hunting was a comparatively dreary sport, remarkably uncivilized. Everything that the Earl really enjoyed could be enjoyed in the sanctity of his apartment. Parties, card games, dancing, fencing, books, music, friends. Well, so in 1769, the Earl simply closed the door on the outside world and retired to a life of sublime confinement. Among the first demands placed on his staff was to collect a stock of the finest wines. Those wines must be of the proper age, the Earl warned his steward, neither too seasoned nor too fresh. The steward set about his task. Next, the Earl began to collect books. His library would one day be the most outstanding in Paris. He told his friends if in the end it was not, it certainly came close. The Earl's first party in his new suite of apartments must have been sumptuous. The best French chefs prepared the food. The best known of Paris society attended. There was even an orchestra to serenade and ladder to accompany the dancing. You know what? For the Earl of Mazarine, 20 years of personal tradition was only beginning. The Earl also quickly learned that one was not required to leave his dwelling to be a playboy. The most beautiful women in the city came to him. On these lovely ladies, the Earl heaped all imaginable gifts, precious jewels and huge wardrobes of the most exquisite clothing. After a few years, his life of bachelorhood wore thin. The Earl met Marie Anne Bercier, a woman of legendary beauty, and he married her. And they continued to live a life of frivolous festivity and extraordinary comfort, all in the Earl's apartment. But all things changed. In July of 1789, revolution brought an end to the Earl of Mazarine's pampered existence. Again, a counterpoint of market fire and clattering swords, he fled. At last, his suite of sumptuous apartments, his fine wines, his select library, the good times, reluctantly, he returned to Ireland. Historians tell us that history repeats itself. That civilization, though continuous, reflects the past. But when else in history could the luxurious life of the Earl of Mazarine have been lived? At what other time could a man retreat to a glorious suite of apartments for 20 years without emerging and continue to receive the income from his estate, while keeping his creditors at bay? for Clotworthy Suffington, the second Earl of Mazarine, for 20 years reveled in the existence of which you've just read in debtor's prison. And now you know the rest of the story. Well, tomorrow's story, we're gonna do another tribute. It's gonna be all in his mind, and you're not gonna want to miss it. And then on my next show, we'll have Sean LaFave. He'll be here, and we're gonna be talking about healthcare on the Geared for Wellness Corner. And then I'm gonna continue our tribute to the late great Paul Harvey and the rest of the story. In the meantime, I want you to tell all of your friends about our show here on the RLC Broadcasting Network. They'll be glad you did. You'll be glad you did. And I promise you, I'll be glad you did.
That's our show for today. Beginning today, treat everyone you meet as if they were going to be dead by midnight. Extend them all the care, kindness, and understanding that you can muster. Your life will never be the same again. So many of our dreams at first seem impossible, then they seem improbable, and then when we summon the will, they soon become inevitable. You know, the real secret of happiness is to make others believe that they're the cause of it. Robert Cardoza Live is brought to you by blogtalkradio.com every Monday through Friday from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. Pacific Time. Now, go out and make it a great day. Your host has been Robert Cardoza, the technical advisor, Matchstick Digital, and your executive producer, also Robert Cardoza.